All right, good morning and welcome back. I just wanted to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. So just so we know, before the end of the week, today is kind of our last lesson. Tomorrow we'll review a little bit, Monday and Tuesday, what we talked about in this whole chapter. Then we will get a copy of the chapter review that we can work on to practice. You won't turn it in, but it'll be help you get ready for our test. We want to make sure we get this test done before the end of or before break. Okay, so please do it before break. I know that some of you will not, and I'm guessing the scores will be much lower of those who do it after break. Okay, so get it done before break, before the end of the week. So if we look here, today, our final new lesson of the chapter, we're going to learn some rules, and it says if a tangent and chord intersect at a point in a circle. So we are drawing a circle here, and let me go ahead, actually, there we go. So we got our circle. I'm going to go ahead and just draw one for each of these because I'm going to need it. Okay, so we have our circles. So it says a tangent and chord intersect at a point on a circle. Okay, now what that means, our chord just goes somewhere through the circle to the edge. Now a tangent, we hopefully know, touches at just one point, so it could go through like that. Now in order to make that a tangent, I also need to add arrows. Okay, so it keeps going. And when this is the case, it says the measure of each angle formed is 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. So if we think about it, if over here, this is our arc, half of that would be this angle. And likewise over here, half of that will be this angle. It's very similar to when we had yesterday our inscribed angle. So whatever your arc is, you divide it by 2. Now you got to be careful on this because say I was trying to find what this angle was. If I knew that this was 100 degrees, I can't just take 100 divided by 2. That would tell me 50. I would want to take 360 minus that 100 to get 260. Divide that by 2 to be 130. Now you might notice 130 and 50, those are a linear pair right there. So that's the other option. You can figure out what that is and take the fact that it's a linear pair. All right, our second one. If two chords intersect in the interior of a circle, then the measure of each angle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So that was kind of confusing. So first thing, two chords intersect in the interior of a circle. That doesn't mean it could be through the center. It doesn't have to be. The key thing is they cross at some point inside the circle. Interior means inside the circle. Okay, so right here is their point of intersection. That is definitely in the interior of that circle. Now, it says the measure of each angle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So for example, if I'm trying to find this spot right here, it'll be half of the sum of the two arcs. So here, this is arc 1. Over here, this would be arc 2 because the vertical angle intercepts that arc. And if I add those two together, it's half the sum. So sum means add them together. So arc 1 plus arc 2, but it's only half of that. So divide that all by 2. And then our final one says if a tangent and a secant, two tangents or two secants. Okay, so let's talk tangent. Remember, touches it at one spot. A secant, all of these are lines. A secant goes through it at 2 spots. Tangents, two tangents would mean it touch it at 2 spots, 2 secants. No matter what it is, if we have a situation where it goes through your circle, so say we have this, and whether they're tangents or secants, the key is that if they make an angle here, in order to figure out what that angle is, we can just take the measure of the angle formed is going to be half the difference of the measures of the intercepted arc. So if we think about it, we'll call this arc 1 out here. And by that, I mean between these two. So between here and here, that's arc 1. Arc 2 is right here. and it says 1/2 the difference. So the difference means subtract. So we'll do arc 1 minus arc 2. We'll take that divided by 2, and that will tell us what this angle right here is. So let's start off. We have a chord and a tangent. So this will be our first one. And if that is the case, whatever the angle is formed here, we can divide it by 2 to get our answer. So right here, if we take this arc and divide it by 2, we'll find out what that angle is. So 150 divided by 2, just like we did yesterday with our inscribed angles, that is 75 degrees. This next one, same exact thing, 100 divided by 2 gives us 50 degrees. Now this next one's not quite as easy. Got 2 ways you can solve it. You can take 360 minus 120, find out this is 240. Divide that by 2, you'll get 120 right there. Other option, 120 divided by 2, you know this angle is 60. As we said right there, x and 60, that's a linear pair. So 180 minus that 60. Either way, x will equal 120. So you either find that this is 240 and divide that by 2 to get 120, or figure out that this is 60 and know 180 minus 60 gives you 120. Okay, same thing here. This is 85. And we know that that leaves 360 minus 85. That'll be 275 left. We can divide that by 2, and we will get 137.5 as our answer for what x is. Okay, now the next ones we're going to look at. This is when we have 2 chords. So remember, 2 chords, just add up the 2 arcs, and then we'll know what this angle is. And likewise, what that angle is. We have to divide them by 2, though, because those are vertical angles, so they'll be the same. So if we look here, we care about x here, so we can add those 2 together. 91 plus 55, and whatever we get, we'll divide by 2. So 91 plus 55, it's going to be 146. Divided by 2 would give us 73. Look at the next one, same thing, 106 plus 86. It's going to be 192. If we divide that by 2, we will get 96 for our value of x. Okay, the same thing here, 150 plus 136. Take that divided by 2. So 150 plus 136 is 286. We divide that by 2, we get 143. If you can't do these in your head, that's fine. Use a calculator. I don't care. I just want you to be able to find your answers. So finally, 106 plus 174. Then we divide that by 2. So we add that. We'll get 280 divided by 2. We'll get 140 for our value of x. Okay, we're almost done. The final rule, remember it said we take whatever the bigger arc is minus the smaller arc, so arc 1 minus arc 2, and then we divide by 2. So if we look here, arc 1 over here, this 68, we subtract the 24, and then we divide it by 2, we'll have what x is. So 68 minus 24, it's going to be 44 divided by 2, x will equal 22 degrees. Okay. Now our next one, same thing. If you ever have trouble remembering which one to subtract from, you can't have a negative angle. Okay, so always just take the bigger one minus the smaller one. Now this was 2 secants. Here we have an example of 2 tangents. Same approach though. 262 minus 98. And whatever we get, divide by 2. So minus 98 will be down to 164 divided by 2, and we get 82 degrees. Next one, this is an example of 1 tangent here and 1 secant. Okay. So we have 168 minus that 46, divide that by 2. So 168 minus 46 puts us at 122. And if we take that 122 divided by 2, let's see, that'll give us 61 degrees. Okay, and our final one, once again, we have 1 tangent, 1 secant. So 180 minus 64. We do that, we'll be left with 116. Divide that by 2, and you will get 58 degrees for your angle. So if you have any questions, please reach out. There is an It's Learning assignment. It's maybe a little longer, but these are pretty quick to solve. Just use these 3 rules. If you need to, pause the video, take a screenshot of these rules right here. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.